Okay, so before we go ahead and talk about the scripture in Matthew, which is going to really tie all this up, I want to further give you some more things to think about and research, more scripture that's going to support what we're talking about with this well and this Absu in an incredible way, a very incredible way, which leaves no ability to challenge what the Bible is sharing with you right here. It's all going to focus once again on verse 25 of chapter 49 in Genesis, and we're going to look at this blessings of the deep that lieth under, because we're connecting this to that well. As we saw in Hosea, that well is prophesied as becoming dried up. So we know that this is in relation to Leviathan, the water dragon. And we're going to see in a big way, just as we see right here, Leviathan, the water dragon, is connected to these unicorns, which is going to be symbolic in connection for northern Israel. Because northern Israel takes a symbol of the unicorn, southern Israel takes a symbol of the lion. And now we're going to see where all that makes sense. So if we've got these blessings that are of the deep that lieth under, we need to understand who is associated with this deep. I mean, I'm telling you Apollyon, I'm telling you Enki, but where's the scriptural support that's going to fully back this up? Well, first of all, we're going to fully back this up in Job in two places. Remarkably so is what's so incredible. First of all, if you've got a concordance and you look up Leviathan, in the very back, the basic definition of the word Leviathan, you're going to find out that it means coiled serpent. Okay? And that's exactly with what I told you about as its translation as the Kundalini, the coiled or crooked serpent, as it's described in Isaiah. Well, Job chapter 41 is all about, as I've said, Leviathan, who is the Antichrist spirit. So as we move down here, we want to associate this Leviathan or this Antichrist spirit with the deep. And let's look very closely here at chapter 41, verse 32. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. All right, this is the connection of the Antichrist or Apollyon coming up out of the bottomless pit, i.e. this hoary deep. And once again, he's trying to make this path, but he's causing a path to shine after him. So I guess the narrative here is saying, well, wow, if the hoary deep is dark and dingy, we're seeing that as he's coming out of it, he's coming out of it with this brightness. And he's seeking to have those gathered unto him, just like we saw in Job, or not Job, but Genesis chapter 49, verse 10, describing that Shiloh seeks to have all those gathered unto him. And he's going to do it by this shiny path that he brings from this hoary deep. Now, the hoary deep is going to connect us 100% with this very same blessings of the deep that we see right here at line 25, and the very same deep that we see now that can be associated with this well, biblically correct as per the book of Hosea as it describes it. So I just would like you to see here that furthermore in Job, as we begin to talk about the connection of the deep, I want you to see line 24 describes his heart, which is going to connect us to Hart Island, New York City. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of nether millstone. So we get this stone description here. We get the millstone understanding as it's connected to Hart Island, New York City. Off the coast of New York City, there's supposed to be a millstone, Revelation chapter 18, verse 21. We find out that this is associated with the arrival or the rising of Leviathan, a.k.a. Enki, the Antichrist, as some would call it in the movie The Dark Knight. All associated, all symbolically saying the same thing, that this is all about the abyss, or to bring this one, and we're going to see the millstone connection. But as we see his heart is as firm as a stone, I want you to see that we have a further connection with what this stone is in another reflection of the same truth. Listen very closely here. Verse 24, Genesis chapter 10, or Genesis chapter 49, excuse me. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. Now we're talking about Ephraim. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Now Ephraim becomes the false shepherd of Zechariah chapter 11, verse 17. Woe to the idol shepherd. Now we see that Ephraim begins to become this very same stone, which is associated with the heart of the Antichrist, which you're going to see in the next video connected in a big way.